world is lonely, find me something. I'm trying to speak more slowly into this video because I'm speaking about the higher self. And I really think that this is an important topic to grasp on, to focus on. Because why? Because the higher self, or that higher being of yours, is always, and I mean always, trying to communicate with you and to you. And in actuality, that higher self is actually you. But in more simple terms, or in more complicated terms, it is a wiser and wider perspective and version of yourself. Okay? So the higher self is about flow. The higher self is about creativity. The higher self is about being. Okay? So in the moments when you shift your vibration, when you allow yourself to think more positive thoughts, when you are celebrating life, it is easier for you to connect back to this higher being, to this higher self. And again, important thing for you to grasp on is the fact that the higher self is actually you, okay? This higher self, which is you, knows everything about yourself. And this higher self has a wider perspective on your reality. It or she or him knows where to guide you. He wants you to live in truth. He wants you to express yourself. He wants the best for you, okay? And I realize that in moments when I get stuck, in moments where I'm not willing to express myself, in moments where I am afraid, this higher self comes in, and it's all a matter of practice to connect with your higher self. And the best thing to connect with your higher self, the best way, is to listen to your heart. Listen to how you feel. Okay, start observing your thoughts and realize that you are a unique spiritual being who came here on the planet to shift the game of consciousness. And maybe it's not about all the game of consciousness, maybe it's not about psychology or who we are into the world, because I'm saying this because you have your own unique perspective on the world, and you should really focus on that. You should really follow your passion. This is the best way to connect to your higher self. To follow your passion, to be yourself, to allow yourself to change, because change is the only constant in the universe. Okay, so everything changes, even your cells in the body, even your emotions, even your thoughts. Okay, so you are not the same person that you were yesterday, because yesterday you chose to dance and today you choose to do a video. Yesterday you chose to go out with somebody and now you choose to relax, okay? So we are changing in terms of maybe experience and circumstances. And this higher self connects to you when you are feeling peaceful. It also wants to connect to you when you are not feeling peaceful. But it connects to you in moments of flow, okay? So one good sign from your higher self is when you are being in a state of creating, being in a state of being in a state of opening your heart. This is when the higher self comes in, okay? So you realize that you have thoughts sometimes. You realize that you have emotions. Some of these thoughts are created by the ego, and some, I think, are created by the higher self. Okay, so the difference is the fact that the ego is always about lack, about negativity, about not allowing, about resistance. But this higher self, again, is about flow, is about reconnecting back to your true nature, which is yours to identify. It is connecting back to your own peaceful side, peaceful self, okay? Meditation helps a lot. Becoming conscious of your walking on the street, becoming conscious of your body, letting go of lower vibrational habits, waking up in the morning, programming your day, okay? This is the higher self coming in. This is the higher self guiding you in order for you to really feel good and accomplish your desires. Okay, so I guess the higher self is also about feeling good, because our highest being is all about pure natural happiness and bliss. Okay, so this higher self is about happiness and bliss. This higher self is about creativity. So the moment that you are being natural, you will also feel happiness and bliss, because we are born this way. We are divine beings. We are divine creators of the Most High. We are God. We are God itself. We are the universe, maybe. Okay? So when the moment that I connected back to my own higher self, I have realized that I can choose to relax. I can choose to follow my heart. I can realize that yes, I might have free will, even though they say that free will is also an illusion. But I realize that yes, okay, I have to love myself. I have to begin to love myself. And in order to connect back to your higher self, you have to love yourself. Okay? So like I always say, in life there is you can't always be positive. But I realized that there is power in also accepting the negative, the shadow side, the shadow self, even the ego sometimes. Because the ego is not a bad thing. The ego gives you the capability to actually choose and let go sometimes. Let go? I'm not sure. But to choose and to walk away from an event maybe that you don't like, okay? So ego is about separation. The higher self is about connection. The higher self makes me realize that we are all one, okay? That I am choosing to play an actor. Because at my deepest level, I am nothingness. I am nothingness and everything. At my deepest level, I am awareness. At my deepest level, I am pure presence. And you are that as well. But there are some tools in order for you to grasp on and to connect back to this higher being, which I believe the main thing would be is acceptance. Okay? Acceptance of your flaws, acceptance of the negativity, acceptance of the present moment, acceptance of when you want to express yourself, acceptance of being weird maybe, okay? So I believe that the higher self is always communicating to you. It is always communicating with you. And the higher self might show you reflections into the outer world, okay? So it wants you to know that whatever you are offering, you will receive back. Okay, so whatever you put out into the world will come back to you. This is what your higher self wants you to know. And at the same time, the higher self is pure beingness. So connect back to the way of being, to how you feel. That is the most important thing in the world, who you are. Okay, so be, do, have. But the first thing is to accept yourself. The main thing is to accept yourself where you are right now. This is how to connect to your higher self. So repeat to yourself, I love you, I trust you, I forgive you, I'm sorry, I love you, okay? This is the higher self communicating to you. What else would be? I think my higher self is also about simplicity. It's also about simplicity, because I realized that the more you try to keep it complicated, the less you understand it. Okay, so understanding it is about keeping it simple. So keep it simple, guys. Another thing would be that the higher self is rediscovering itself through you. Okay, so you are rediscovering yourself through you. Your experience, your beliefs, your ways of being might create your reality. So realize that the higher self is connected to all kinds of perspectives. He wants you to feel a variety of things. He wants you to be yourself. And he also wants you to embrace the fear, because the fear is also an emotion. He also wants you to embrace anger, because anger is also an emotion. And the only way to change something is to actually accept it first, because we can't change, we can't shift something with the same level of consciousness in which it was created. So if you create something out of fear, the only way to change it is to shift your perspective, okay? So I realized that my higher self communicates me the idea that however I perceive something, I also experience it that way. So however I perceive something is how I receive it. That means that I have to take complete care and complete responsibility of my perception, of what I say, of how I choose to act, of how I choose to express myself. Okay? So the higher self is you in the end, but it is a smarter version of yourself. It is your highest being, okay? It is your angel. Your higher self loves you. And for me, actually, my higher self can't even say how much he loves me, because he loves me in an expansive way. Okay guys, so this is it. This is how to connect back to your higher self. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you recognize the patterns within yourself that are coming from the higher self. And again, it is you actually. Everything is you. Maybe not everything, but your consciousness doesn't happen only on the inside. It is reflected out, and it is expanded out into the whole existence itself. So you are the stars, nothing is separated. You are the universe, you are the planets, you are everything. Yes, the higher self also lets you know that the game of separation is an illusion. I love you and see you on the next video.